Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Ox Fit podcast. Today, we're going to talk about HYROX, all things HYROX. I'm even wearing my HYROX Ox Fit shirt. It's happening this Saturday, and I saw a very interesting, kind of like viral Instagram trend going around right now, which is people talking about HYROX ruining fitness and ruining the fitness industry. And this is kind of the gist of it. So, like, they're saying HYROX might be one of the best things to happen to fitness right now, or is it the beginning of the end? Because you're turning the workouts into a race. And so, rather than training for life, you're training for a time or you're training for likes. And what they're saying is what's supposed to be like something that unites people in fitness is actually breaking it because it's turning into something that it was kind of never intended to be. And so that's what people are saying. That is like the kind of rumor that I keep seeing a lot of popular videos on Instagram and things like that get posted about. But what I want to talk about is that that's actually, the myth, right? And how I think it's breaking fitness is the same way 10, 12 years ago, CrossFit kind of broke fitness. Is it's not about, the leaderboard and all that stuff. It's actually breaking fitness and training styles.
Mhm.
And what triggers a lot of people is segmented training gets segmented results, right? And when you get to see that you can train a certain way and be an amazing runner, be strong, be fit, look great, and finish something like an 8K, and then go run a 10K and go do a triathlon and go do all the things that we love to do, it kind of breaks down that like you have to steady state cardio and bodybuild, right? And
Mhm.
that's what it keeps breaking, I think. And that's what I think triggers a lot of people. It's not that they have this awesome event they can go and train for. It's that, again, it's breaking that you have to just do fitness one way. And
Yeah. No,
what
I
I
think, yeah, and honestly, I think if you take a step back even further, it's like there's so many people in this world that do not work out. And in the high rock space, it's like it's almost giving us something to strive for. So I could argue that it's taking someone who maybe lost that sense of competitiveness or just that sense of community in the fitness world, and it's like introducing them to, oh, I could train for that. Oh, I could do that. And then it's like it gives you this taste of something. So now you're going from either sitting on your couch or a non-structured training program, and then you're actually trying to put some thought behind your training, and then you're actually having milestones to achieve. And so you could look at that as HYROX as a whole, like start to finish. Are we going to increase our time? Or you could look at it as more simplistic than that and break it down into each station and your runs, and you can get as specific as you want. But at the end of the day, I think that it's helping people move their bodies and have some more knowledge around how to train and what potential training programs can lead from an outcome perspective. That's why I think it's been so beneficial to have that.
Yeah. And yeah, we should start with this. Like, we kind of started in a similar thing, like functional fitness, like years
Mhm.
ago doing CrossFit, and then got to a place now where my gyms are DECA HYROX affiliates. Your gyms are DECA HYROX and
Certainly
um,
doesn't.
Deadly Dozen
Mhm.
affiliates. And the way that we see it is anything taken to an extreme becomes what people like talk about with HYROX, and what they used to talk about with CrossFit is like just people being a little bit douchey, right, about it. And when we look at it, what we look at is the reason we're a Decker affiliate is because we can get a start line to you,
Mhm.
right? That's what it's about for us.
Mhm.
HYROX for some people is still a little bit out of reach because it's 8K.
Mhm.
It's, it's an endurance event. It's tough. And it's going to take you somewhere potentially, right? Like you might not get into your local one. So you might have to go to Chicago. You might have to go to Dallas. That takes away a start line for a lot of people,
Right.
busy jobs, families, things like that. DECA brought us a start line to our gym that gives you a medal, gives you an experience, gives you a t shirt, gives
Mhm.
you something to train for. And then that's what HYROX does, like takes you to that place where you have a bigger experience because they're bigger events. But
Mm-hmm.
for us, it's about not that that should be your only goal and not that that should be your only focus and that like you should make it your whole identity, right? But it's a part of your life that you can train for something and then have an event and like almost like a season to your training
Mm-hmm.
rather than you go to the gym every day and you lift weights and you get a little bit stronger. Like that's awesome. But what is that moment that you're training towards and what gets you out of bed like today when it's rainy and cold outside and you want to stay under the sheets is in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, we've got this event coming up. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, that is what all these things are about is having that event. And I hear a lot of people talk about HYROX is taken CrossFit and made it more for everybody. But that is what CrossFit started as, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just the perception of CrossFit now is that it's for these elite athletes. But like I just went to a competition, beach brawl, and the biggest division was the scaled division, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
biggest divisions were the intermediates and scaled. So it's not that it's taken over, it's just a little bit less skilled, maybe a little bit less intimidating. So more people right now are taking what they were doing and putting it into this.
Yeah, I think that's key. What you just said is less skill. I mean, I think HYROX is very demanding from an endurance standpoint, and obviously you have to have the muscular endurance and just overall engine to be able to complete it. But the the skill component is so much larger in CrossFit. But there's always a scaled version. Like it's for both sports are for everybody. And I think there's that could be the intimidating factor is like it's too hard, it's too much, but if I can dip my toe and I can kind of figure out the scaled versions, just like how HYROX has the open versus the pro weights, just to kind of let you test the waters and see what you can do. But then back to DECA, that's why we first became an affiliate because we were introduced to DECA, I think, same as you, like before HYROX, we were even made aware of what HYROX was. And DECA to me was, okay, we can take this DECA event and bring Start Line to our gym and have every single person do the exact same thing. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. They're all functional fitness movements. They're movements that we want to be able to do in our everyday life. And you could do it in 10 minutes or you could do it in 30 minutes. It does not matter. It's what can you personally do? And then, okay, now we got that data and we have something to work towards. We just get a little quicker each time. We just keep increasing our fitness and keep growing. And I think that's what competitions like DECA and like HYROX and even CrossFit competitions to some degree, slightly different, can give you. I think CrossFit is like this variable. It's not always the same in the competition, so it's a little different to train for. Whereas DECA is very consistent, HYROX is consistent. You know the moves you're training for. You can kind of hone in on those. Whereas CrossFit, you do have to have more skill, more variability to be able to adapt to different movements.
Yeah. And I mean, I started with pretty similar to you, right? It was like the CrossFit style stuff. And then originally when I saw DECA, I was like, it's not really complex enough, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't really like them RAM things. And then we got them in the gym. And I was like, for a second, I was like, do we even need barbells anymore? Like
Yeah.
this, anybody can move one of these.
Mm-hmm.
The best can get better with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, well, maybe this is what we just need to do because the workout, I feel like Yancey nailed the workout for everybody. It's like the best in the gym goes so fast, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
one of the. It's still I don't want to do Decker every time it comes up because it's that it takes you to that place.
It does.
For other people, it's a little bit of a longer challenge that is more cardio based, you know, and like they get a great workout without, knock on wood, I've seen zero injuries from doing this workout, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
completely scalable for everybody. The only like the thing that surprised me the most was when somebody came and they were like, I can't do the reverse lunges. And I couldn't comprehend that. And then I was like, oh, they just don't train like us, right? They came from somewhere else.
Right.
And yeah, it's been fun it challenged my way of thinking that like sometimes complex is better. when
Mhm.
that's even the foundation of the functional fitness stuff and the CrossFit. Like the simplest workouts were the best. And
100%.
that's what this is coming back to, is like just simple movements everybody can do increases the intensity for everybody. It makes it more appealing. So it's just been so much fun the last year and a half to challenge, that perception. I still love working on complex skills. I still like challenging myself to be able to do bar muscle
Mhm.
ups, ring muscle
Mhm.
ups, handstand walks, stuff like that. But they don't need to be in the weekly, daily stuff. They can be like specific for a competition. And then
Mhm.
the day-to-day stuff is this, like it's training for life. And then we don't have to change our training. We can just go do a HYROX. We don't have to change
Same.
our approach. We could just go do a deca. Like it's built into our programming. And talking
Mhm.
about programming, one thing I've noticed that I don't know if you've noticed is people start panicking when it comes to HYROX, where they have to
Yep.
go and do a running program now, or they have to go and do a marathon program, and they have to like really get into running, which is what you see a lot, like with the bad side of the other stuff was like, I got to do open gym, I got to do a lifting program, I got to do a gymnastic program. And it's like, no, you don't. You just have to do this training
Mhm.
consistently, and
Yeah.
then maybe ramp it up as we get closer to the event, right?
I
And
was gonna say, I do think there's an extreme value of adding running, because I will say in my personal training and in our gym, we used to do no running really. We have like spin bikes and we have ski ergs and row ergs, and but running wasn't a core component of our programming. And personally, I did not run not 1 mile until about 3 years ago. Like I was not a runner. I played basketball, and so I was a sprinter. And you told me to go do distance running, I'm like, no, thank you.
yeah,
So when I got into CrossFit, the 400 meters and stuff like that, I would do it. But then when we opened our own gym, it just wasn't a core component. Um, and I think that's what kind of put me a little behind, right? So like in the DECA world, I won world championship for my age group last year in strong. It was in strong, right? No running in that. So
yeah,
when it comes to HYROX, I've ramped up my running. I've been doing running a lot more. I reached out to Meg Jacoby, and I listened to her programming for my running and everything. So I have put some emphasis on running, and I've seen a big difference. So I went from running like 1 mile a week to progressively increasing it, and now on average I run 30 miles a week. So I
yeah.
do fall in the category of someone who really engaged in running. It's not a strength of mine. It's not a component of my training, and now it's very much a core component of
Yeah.
mine. But I will
Because it
say,
is different goals, right? Like you have different goals. You're not just trying to get to a start line. You're, like really
I want to
focused on
compete.
this, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Also, I often see people go from running to running like 20 miles in a week and they get injured. So I
All the
think
time.
that is the negative of that. Like, oh, I just signed up for a HYROX that's in 12 weeks. Well, listen, if you're not a runner right now, you're not going to be a runner in 12 weeks.
Mhm.
Like, so give yourself grace, first of all. And what you said, trust your existing training and don't just go try to cram in 2 years worth of running training to ramp up your progress, because the reality is that's just asking to be injured, and this should be a long game. You shouldn't be trying to cram in fitness so quick that you're causing an injury, and then you can't race in the HYROX race, and even worse, you're affected in your everyday life.
Yeah, I love that because that is one of the ways that HYROX is breaking people, right?
Mhm.
It's not that the event is the problem, which is what, like this conversation comes back to. It's that leaderboard leads to people having this fear of failure and
Mhm.
people understanding that like when I get to that finish line, I'm going to take a photo with my time. And that's what people really want to see. And
Yeah.
so I need to make sure that time's good. So now I need to do all this running. And
Mhm.
then, like you said, running is one of the most dangerous things you can do.
Mhm.
I put out a video a couple of weeks ago. It has quite a lot of views, like showing how to run correctly. Because I never got taught how to run. I
Mhm.
had somebody came and was like, "Go run this distance." There was never a skill to running. There was never let me see your form. No one was ever videoed how I was running. It was just go run, get faster. Well,
Mhm.
how do you get faster? Run more. And that's not how you get faster. You get faster by becoming a better, more skillful runner. You get faster by increasing your VO2 max, different ways of doing that. It's not always running. And then building a program that increases the distance to a point where you don't just give yourself tendonitis in all your joints
Right.
because you started running a marathon program at 42. Like
Yep.
that's not the approach, which is what is the ego side of this, which is what stops most people doing it. When what we talk about a lot is like you don't have a time right now. Most people have not done a HYROX.
Mm-hmm.
It's brand new. So who cares what you get?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have nothing to compare it to. Looking at someone else's time and thinking you want to get that time makes absolutely no sense. You don't know what your time is. So your first experience of a HYROX, your first ever DECA, don't worry about strategies and stuff. Just go enjoy it. Look
Mm-hmm.
around. Say thank you to a volunteer. Go high five somebody. Like cheer on the person next to you. That's how you enjoy this thing.
You know what
But
my favorite HYROX memory is? Is I was doing walking lunges, sandbag on my back. I was doing a solo, and my son was up, like my daughter was helping hold him up high enough to see me over the fence. And saw him and I went on the outside lane. I gave my high five as I'm going through. Like it's the little things like that. And you're right. It's not about like find your why and go through it, but enjoy it. Like look up and smile. Like when you're at HYROX, that energy and everything there, like that's part of the beauty of it. And if you're in this place of I gotta just drill down and go faster than I should and gas out and you're not enjoying it, you should enjoy it, right? You absolutely should find why you're there and enjoy it and take it in.
yeah, exactly. And like that's why we do at our gym now, the way we've evolved over the last 10 years is we have a whole season of events. So we start with strength training stuff, we do some cross training stuff, and then it gets more endurance focused as the year goes on. So like you're not making certain things your whole identity and then your ego doesn't come into it. You can just go have fun doing a marathon. You can do a 5K, you can do a DECA, you can do a HYROX. And the pressure's kind of hopefully taken off is the intent, right? That you can just once a year go and do it and enjoy it. And maybe you beat your time or like you've changed a little thing. So like, wouldn't it be cool if you got a PR? But if your whole focus is what you do and how you finish, you're going to miss so many moments of these competitions and of these experiences, which that's why I think people think it's kind of broken is because they get so focused on their times and their splits and they're like, and if you're going for a world championship, I think that's awesome.
Sure.
And if you like need that to focus your training, I think that's great. But there's going to be 30 people from our gym there on Saturday. And if you don't talk to one of your teammates and like check in on them, high five them when you see them on a lap or like stop to give them a little shout, then you're kind of missing what it really is intended for, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely do. I mean, I fall into the category of I like to know my splits. I like to know my pacing, but part of that is knowing my pacing. And same as we talked about at your gym, if I come out too hot and then I gas out and I'm in zone 5 right away, then the whole race I'm just like trying to stay alive. That's not enjoyable for me. So I like to be able to ramp it up, almost do like a negative split, keep my runs consistent as possible. I don't always execute that way, but that's the goal, right? And so when that is being accomplished, I'm enjoying myself more.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's like knowing that your best that day is good enough, right? And so like just go do your best.
Yep.
And whatever that looks like, it looks like your friends and your family won't respect you or like not like what you're doing less because your time was a certain time or because you know what I mean? Like they just want to see a video of you smiling and enjoying it, hopefully. And like that's what it's all about. And that's what like we just went to Beach Brawl a couple of weeks ago and we had like 30 people had trained to go and do that. And my biggest message to them was like, don't miss this event, right? Because with these people, like life changes fast. It might not happen again. Like you might not be able to work out with that person. Like they might move or, you know what I mean? They might have kids and then they go into this area and like things change fast. Like the one time you do one of these events might be the last time you get to do it with that group of people or, you know what I mean? You just never know what your life is going to look like a year from now. So like really live in the moment and enjoy doing something hard and just the finish line is the only focus, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, like when I did it last, I saw some people that I was worried weren't going to make the finish line because they just weren't running their own race and they were doing
Right.
somebody else's race.
Yep.
And yeah, and then the other thing that there's going to be people that are really focused on winning in their mind, right? It's going to be them people around. Don't let them people affect you, right? Like somebody's going to yell at you that they're running faster than you and they're behind you and they're going to push you out of the way. It's going to happen, right? You can't get away from them people. They're going to do it. So like, know if you're on the inside of the left of that fast lane, you're either going to get or you're going to get pushed or you're going to get yelled at. Just smile, let that person go on with their race, or you know what I mean,
Right.
like try and avoid the fast lane. But something like that's going to happen. You're going to get no repped by a judge. That judge, their goal is not to ruin your day. That judge is there volunteering their time for a Puma t-shirt, I think. Like they're not there solely to make sure you don't finish your best HYROX. So ask them why you got no rep. Say thank you for making me better today and just give them a high five and move on, right? Like every volunteer that you see, you should be like grateful that they're there because I've never volunteered at one of the events.
And there's a lot of volunteers. I mean, if you've never done a HYROX race, I think at the Atlanta one last year, we had 90 skiers, I believe. In my heat alone, there was 80 of us at the start line at the same time. I mean, that's a lot of people that are cycling through each of these stations. They have a start time typically is every 10 minutes. And so that's a lot of people just cycling through. And so the amount of judges that they need to actually run one of these events there's so many.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to be grateful that they're willing to donate their time to help judge. So they're not perfect, but they sure are helping.
Yeah. So the community, when I first found like functional fitness and stuff, was the thing that brought me into it, right? Like it was the thing that made me. I was living in London, nobody talked to me. I think I went to like a local bodybuilding gym, and like after 2 years, I think I knew one person, and I think somebody who worked there, right? Everybody else had their headphones in, and it was very like London, quiet. You know, I mean, nobody bothered anybody. Then I went to a gym that was brand new. I think it was like 2008, 9, maybe 2010. I didn't understand what the hell was going on, but everybody wanted to know my name. I had like 10 new friends after the first week. Do you think the HYROX DECA has that same vibe, has that same community, or do you think it's developing that, or do you think it's a little bit different?
I don't know. I think it feels a little different. I think maybe there's the goal to create that. I don't know that it's quite there yet. And maybe it's because the events are so massive. So maybe like we have HYROX specific classes at our gym. And I think in those specific classes, it is that. But when you take that and scale it to the event, maybe it's just not translating as well. Whereas when you're talking about a CrossFit localized gym, it very much is like everybody knows each other's names. I experienced exactly what you just said. I mean, and that's the same in our actual classes too. You know, everybody in our studios classes know each other. But I just think something maybe is lost when it's going to this massive event itself because there's so many people there.
Yeah, and honestly, when I travel and go to different gyms, I've noticed that feeling of like being welcomed and everybody knowing each other is less and less. So I don't know if it's just like a generational thing from like the last 5 years of people being a little bit less connected, maybe like Zoom calls and stuff like that has made it a little bit more individualized, you know? And then I know a lot of people now like train at home, and a lot of people do their own program, or like they follow like an influencer and they just do that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas for us, every day, if you don't know the person next to you, like you're gonna do extra burpees, right? And there's somebody's gonna come and make sure they know you if you're new to the gym, right? And so I don't know if maybe it's just that it's not quite the same, you know? But it's an enjoyable experience at the event.
It's
positive, 100%. It's friendly, loud.
They do a really good job at the start line of getting you like ready and pumped up, and everybody's closing their hands, holding that hand next to you, like very
It's actually too
encouraging.
good of a job, to be honest. Like I
Right? I mean,
I took off. I took off like I was about to set a world record.
that's funny. I know. I came out too hot too, my first one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not the fastest runner out there. I had no business being one of the first in the ski ergs. That's why I'm so adamant about pacing. It's important.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you just got to know your pace is the key. There. It's
Yes.
not so to like summarize it, wrap it up a little bit with like 25 minutes
Mhm.
here. Like, what are the what do you think the good things that we've drawn out of this, and what are some of the things that you have to look out for? Do you think?
I think the good things are it's getting people moving and training for something that gives them purpose, right? We can almost seasonalize our training and periodize it, and people are learning, okay, I can ramp up into my training and have something to work for. I think especially for the people who were athletes when they were younger, this gives them that like competition feel. But it also, like, if you look at our overall population, the statistics are quite low. Like, people just aren't moving their bodies. We're not healthy from a fitness standpoint when you look at the majority in the statistics. I find that hard to believe sometimes because my everyday is filled with people who are moving their body and working out and taking care of themselves. But when you take a step back and you look at the 1,000-foot view, it's like, oh, there's a lot of people in this world that are not. So I think HYROX is kind of opening people's eyes and maybe getting them interested and intrigued and just training with more purpose.
Well, I think
But on the
this
flip
is a
side,
good comment here from Chris. Is distance running without being paired with strength training is asking for trouble, and I think that's the kind of clients that we're noticing it's bringing in, which we haven't had like an influx of people looking for a specific event for quite a while, right? It's like now we have people coming in like I'm going to do a HYROX, and I know I need to get stronger, which is
yeah.
really cool because
Mhm.
that's the key to the whole thing is like using this to get stronger rather than just like running yourself into the ground. And the 30 people that went and did the beach brawl, it's a completely different 30 that are doing HYROX, which is
Okay.
really cool for me. Like
That is cool, yeah.
training is not, it's not the same group, right? Which sometimes you
Mhm.
see the same people doing the same events, right? It's like how do you
Right?
get other people involved? And for me, this is the beauty of HYROX is it's like a different group. Like, I think I can do this. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
of course you can.
But even to the strength component of that, like, that's huge for even just a longevity standpoint, right? Like, we need muscle to be able to move our bodies and be self-sufficient as we age. And so if you're just an endurance athlete and you're not working to really like build and maintain muscle, that's asking for disaster too down the road. It'll optimize your quality of life right now, but it certainly optimizes it later in life. To the more muscle you have, because you're losing muscle mass every decade, like you're starting to lose it, right? So we want to fight against that. So I think that's a good point too. But then the things to watch out for is what I was mentioning earlier with just overtraining. I even see sometimes where it's like this, what you said, like the panic of, oh no, HYROX is coming up. I need to do a million burpee box jumps. I need to do a million lunges. I need to do all these things and like cram it in. And you're not going to accelerate your fitness in 1 week. First of all, like if you're HYROX is Saturday, like you're not gaining additional fitness this week.
Yeah.
You should be tapering, managing your energy, being prepared. Your time to train for it has already passed. Like now we're just trying to mentally be ready going into it. So I think not overdoing it or not like being honest with yourself. Where are you right now? What is your ability? And don't rush it. Like, what's the rush? Just work on getting yourself a little better every day, not exponentially better every day.
Yeah, and you don't have to follow like a HYROX program that is for an elite athlete,
Right.
unless that's your goal, right? You need to.
And honestly, if you're randomly following influencers workouts that are just hard all the time, and that's what you're doing every day, you're way overtraining.
Thank you for saying that, because that's what I think people do is like, oh, well, this guy's doing this. Like, and I love watching Hunter McIntyre's videos. I love watching his vlog, but them workouts are not for me. Like, I'm not a full-time professional athlete. I don't train 3 times a day. Like, that is not my program. My program is to get stronger in here, run a little bit more, and finish and beat my time. And
Well, and that's why I think it's important to have structure to your programming. And that's where coming into a gym like mine or yours, we have structure. We are progressing the programming in working on building strength and working on adding intensity minutes. And like we're doing work for you as our member.
and we've been
And
doing
same
it.
with
We've been
myself.
doing it for 10 years, 6 years.
Yes.
Like, not
Yeah.
like the brand new HYROX gym that just popped up, which might look cool, but like, what are you doing? Are you doing the same thing every day? Like, are you just going to do run in, wall balls, lunges, and sled put? That's not going to get you better at that. Like, you got to have a progressive strength program that gets you stronger, and then a progressive running program that gets you faster. And like, that's what we've been doing for the last 10 years. Like,
Mhm.
find a gym that's already got evidence they're doing it and then build it in. Like, you don't
Right.
want to just wall ball your life away. That is
No.
not going to get you better at wall balls. It's just going to make you hate training.
Yeah. And your structure is important. I mean, even the elite HYROX athletes, they have coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not all of them. Like Ryan Kent actually was just on a podcast that he does his own, but most of them have coaches. And even myself, I hired Meg Jacoby to help me with my running. That's a weakness of mine. I wanted to get better, and I got her help. I think if you're just going out randomly and following these workouts on Instagram, that person doesn't know you. They don't know your abilities. They don't know your progression. They don't know what you did yesterday. Like it really is valuable to have a progression and a plan that fits your personal abilities so that then you personally can get better every day.
Yep. And if you're in Woodstock, you better get your ass to Route 3.
That's right.
And then if you're here in Atlanta downtown, you better come to Oxford, East Atlanta, Oxford Grant Park, and hire one of us as a coach, right? Because that is the next step. Like, coming and showing up to class is great, but if we can get your nutrition right, in 8 weeks, we might not be able to get you running a lot faster, but we can make you 15 pounds lighter, and we can turn that fat into muscle that you can use at the race. You know what I mean? So that's the key, is having the accountability where you need it, right? And for most people in America, that is going to be nutrition.
100%. And yeah, I mean, obviously goals matter and what you're trying to accomplish. Is it performance, or is it aesthetic and what you look like, or is it straight? All those factors matter, but it's 80% nutrition. Like, it is so important, and it's the hardest one for people to stay accountable with. And sometimes it's a lack of knowledge, but even when you have the knowledge, if you don't take action, my husband Kevin always likes to say, knowledge is not power. People say that often. Knowledge is only powerful when you put action behind it. You actually execute on it.
Love it. So to wrap it up, is HYROX ruining or saving fitness?
I think it's saving it. I think you got to say it's saving it because it's giving people purpose to train and move their body. And I think it just looks different than what CrossFit has looked like in the past. But it's still of just move your body, just challenge yourself.
And I honestly think, to build on that, it's a gateway into getting runners lifting again.
Yeah.
And then watching them go, oh, let me do one of them muscle up things, or let me do one of them rope climb things, or like, it's just getting a different group of people into something that's going to be good for them and like extend their longevity. And let's get less people just running their knees off and running their hips off and running their ankles away and get them stronger, right? Which is why we got into this, is to help people, as we say here, find your strength. So
no way. Mine says find your strong.
Let's go.
That's why. I love that. Yes. I love it. We did not do that.
We didn't. That's awesome. But that's what we do, isn't it? That's why we knew.
That's right.
That's why we knew we liked each other. So I will see you on Saturday.
Yep. Do you have your heat time yet?
We're gonna get ours like Thursday night, I think.
Okay.
So, but I'm sure I'll see you anyway. I'll be there early.
I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, cheering on everybody on our group that's racing too. We're actually racing Saturday. Yep.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thank you for joining.